brought to you by Soundlibra.com. You can find a direct link to our full library in the description of this audio, or visit us anytime at Soundlibra.com. Welcome to the Abundance Mindset. Let's explore shifting from scarcity to endless possibility.
And I'm Lisa. We're delighted to start this journey with you.
Before we dive in, a quick note. We'll be discussing mental wellness and financial habits today, but please remember this isn't medical or financial advice. It's always best to consult with a professional for your specific situation.
Right, it's all about the broader perspective. So, Alex, today we're exploring the scarcity trap. What exactly does that mean?
It's a belief that there's never enough time, money, love, or opportunities. It's a feeling of being on the brink, constantly fighting for resources and fearing loss.
So, it's about our perception, not necessarily the reality of what we have?
Precisely. It's a psychological state focused on limitations. We see the world as a zero-sum game, where another's gain is our loss. This impacts everything.
That sounds exhausting and anxiety-inducing.
It is. It manifests in hoarding, reluctance to share knowledge, or even in conversations where people compete to share their problems.
Like, who has it worse competition?
Exactly. It stems from a belief that hardship is more valuable than joy, that bad feels more abundant than good.
We're almost trained to look for the bad, especially with how news often focuses on problems.
Media highlights crises because they grab attention. This constant narrative of deficiency reinforces the idea that the world is scarce, playing on our brain's threat detection wiring.
So, what are the telltale signs of living in this scarcity trap?
Chronic worry about money, even when finances are stable. A perpetual fear of not having enough time, leading to stress and burnout. A tendency to say yes too often, fearing missed opportunities.
And how does scarcity affect our relationships?
It can lead to jealousy, possessiveness, and a need for constant reassurance. It's the feeling of competing for attention or that a loved one's connection with others means less for you. Vulnerability also becomes difficult, seen as a weakness.
That feeling that if I give too much, there won't be enough left for me.
Yes, and beyond external resources, scarcity impacts our internal landscape, leading to feelings of unworthiness. If you believe good things are limited, you might conclude you're not destined for much.
It sounds like a self-fulfilling prophecy.
You've got it. The scarcity trap leads to playing it safe, avoiding risks and new opportunities. The fear of loss outweighs the potential gain.
Instead of seeing growth in a new project, someone might focus only on how it could go wrong.
Precisely. They focus on obstacles over rewards, and on what they don't have instead of creating what they want. This depletes energy and creativity.
It's like being trapped, only seeing limitations.
Understanding the scarcity trap is our first step. We need to recognize it to dismantle it, shifting focus from what's missing to what's present.
So, for listeners recognizing this, is awareness the first part of the solution?
Absolutely. Notice those scarcity-driven thoughts. Ask yourself, is this real threat or a scarcity pattern? With practice, you can identify when you're in the trap.
Shining a light on it, making it less powerful.
Exactly. In this series, we'll provide tools to replace scarcity with an abundance mindset. We'll explore gratitude, cooperation, and more to unlock a fulfilling life.
Today, we've unveiled the scarcity trap, a belief in limited resources leading to worry, focus on problems, and risk aversion, impacting finances, time, and relationships.
And we've highlighted awareness as the crucial first step. This awareness is the foundation for building our abundance mindset.
A powerful starting point. Thank you, Alex.
Thank you, Lisa. And to our listeners, thank you for joining us for this first episode. We hope this clarifies the scarcity trap. Next episode, the dawn of abundance, defining possibility. We'll begin exploring the landscape of abundance. Welcome back to the Abundance Mindset. We unveiled the scarcity trap. Now, let's explore abundance and possibility.
We've left behind the idea of the empty cup. So, Alex, what exactly is this abundance mindset?
The abundance mindset is a shift in perspective. It's a deep belief that there is enough for everyone. Enough resources, opportunity, joy, and love. It's seeing life as a space of infinite potential, not a competition where one person's gain is another's loss.
Enough for everyone. That sounds idealistic, given the world's competition and struggles. How do we bridge that gap?
Scarcity is often a constructed reality, a narrative we adopt. Imagine looking for seashells. If you focus only on not finding one, you might miss its beauty. But if you approach the beach believing beautiful shells are plentiful and are open to finding them, your experience changes. The abundance mindset is that open, expectant approach.
So, it's less about the number of shells and more about believing they exist and being willing to look?
Exactly. It's a state of being. It's recognizing inherent possibility, even when circumstances seem limiting. It shifts us from fear of lacking to trust in sufficiency. This requires challenging ingrained scarcity beliefs. Is this belief serving me or holding me back?
That sounds like a significant psychological shift. What are the key characteristics of this mindset? What does someone embodying abundance feel like?
Someone with an abundance mindset is optimistic with a grounded sense of hope. They're grateful for what they have, no matter how small. Gratitude amplifies abundance. They are open to new ideas and experiences, seeing challenges as growth opportunities.
I can see how gratitude plays a huge role. Focusing on what you don't have reinforces scarcity, but highlighting what you do have helps you notice more of it.
Precisely. It's like tuning a radio. If you're on the scarcity frequency, that's all you hear. Tune into the abundance frequency, and you'll pick up positive signals. Another key characteristic is a willingness to share and cooperate. Abundant thinkers don't hoard out of fear. They understand that contributing and collaborating can enlarge the pie for everyone.
That's important. We often think of abundance as individual success, but you're saying it's also about community and shared prosperity.
Absolutely. Fear of scarcity makes us competitive. Abundance fosters generosity and collaboration. When you believe there's enough, you're more likely to share knowledge, time, and resources, trusting that you're not diminishing your own supply, but contributing to a thriving ecosystem.
So, it's a belief system rooted in gratitude, openness, and a trust that there's enough, leading to positive actions and outcomes. How do we cultivate this daily? It sounds like conscious effort.
It does. One effective way is conscious awareness. Start by observing your thoughts. When you think, I don't have enough time, or there aren't any good opportunities, pause. Challenge that thought. Ask, is this absolutely true? What's the evidence? What would it look like if I believed the opposite? Mindful appreciation is also powerful. Take a few moments each day to notice and appreciate the good things, no matter how small.
So, it's about reframing our internal dialogue and intentionally focusing on the positive. It's like training a muscle. The more you practice focusing on abundance, the stronger that muscle becomes.
That's a perfect analogy. You're building a new neural pathway, reconditioning your brain to see and create abundance. It also involves stepping outside your comfort zone. If you want to see more opportunities, you must seek them out. This means being open to new experiences, meeting new people, and trying new things. Sometimes the enoughness we seek isn't found by staying put, but by exploring.
And this mindset isn't just for external achievements, but for our internal lives too. You mentioned joy and love earlier.
Absolutely. The abundance mindset applies to every area of life. It's believing you are worthy of love, deserving of happiness, and that there's an endless supply of these positive emotions. Operating from scarcity in relationships might lead to possessiveness or jealousy. But an abundance mindset in relationships means trusting in connection, valuing others, and believing that fulfilling connections are always available. It's about giving freely and receiving joyfully.
So, to recap, the abundance mindset is a fundamental belief that there is enough for everyone. It's a shift from scarcity to possibility, trust, and optimism. It's characterized by gratitude, openness, cooperation, and can be cultivated through awareness, reframing thoughts, appreciation, and seeking new experiences. It's a state of being impacting our material world, relationships, and inner well being.
That's a fantastic summary. The key takeaway today is that abundance isn't just about what you have, but how you see the world and your place in it. It's a choice to believe in more.
And that choice, as we'll see, opens up a world of possibilities.
Indeed, we've defined abundance. The next logical step is to explore one of its most powerful foundations.
I think our listeners will be eager to find out.
Next episode, gratitude, the keystone of abundance. Welcome back. Last time, we explored the concept of possibility.
Today, we're diving into what I believe is the very foundation for truly experiencing abundance: gratitude.
Think about it. We are focused on what you lack. What do you see? More lack. But when you consciously shift your focus to what you have, your mind starts to open up. It begins to notice other good things, opportunities, and blessings that were always there, but hidden by that scarcity lens. Gratitude is like a spotlight that illuminates the abundance all around us.
So, it's not just about feeling good, it's about actively changing our internal operating system. How does that work, Alex?
Absolutely. When we practice gratitude, we activate specific areas of our brain. Regularly expressing gratitude can increase activity in the part of the brain responsible for decision making and personality. It also helps calm the brain's fear center. So, practicing gratitude literally helps us feel calmer, more positive, and less reactive to stress. It's like training your brain to be more resilient and optimistic.
Wow, so it's not just a nice idea, it's a neurological shift. That's fascinating.
Precisely. And this shift has tangible ripple effects. People who regularly practice gratitude tend to be more energetic, more optimistic, and more empathetic. They're more likely to help others, leading to stronger social connections. Gratitude is a vital ingredient for strong relationships.
It sounds like gratitude is the keystone, as our episode title suggests. Without it, the arch of abundance can't quite stand firm.
That's a perfect analogy, Lisa. It truly is the keystone. But how do we actually do it?
Right? It can be hard to practice gratitude when you feel overwhelmed. So, Alex, what are some ways we can cultivate gratitude in our daily lives?
One of the most common and effective methods is keeping a gratitude journal. Take a few minutes each day to write down 3 to 5 things you're thankful for. Be specific. Instead of just, I'm grateful for my family, try, I'm grateful for the way my daughter made me laugh today by telling me a silly joke. Or, I'm grateful for the quiet moment I had this morning with a cup of coffee. Specificity makes the feeling more potent.
I love that. Making it specific really helps you feel that gratitude rather than just intellectually acknowledging it. So, every day, 3 to 5 specific things. That seems totally doable.
It is. Another simple practice is to start your day by thinking of one thing you're grateful for before you even get out of bed. Or when you're experiencing something pleasant, consciously pause for a moment and savor it with gratitude. It could be a beautiful sunset, a delicious meal, or a kind word from a stranger. A mindful pause, a moment of appreciation.
And what if you're going through a really tough time? It can feel almost impossible to find things to be grateful for then.
That's a very real challenge, Lisa. In those moments, gratitude might mean being thankful for your strength to get through the day, or the support of a friend, or a simple basic need being met, like having a roof over your head or clean water to drink. It's about finding slivers of light, no matter how small. The key is persistence.
So, it's about perspective. Even in difficulties, there are often glimmers of things to be thankful for, and acknowledging them can pull us out of that dark spiral.
Exactly. And beyond journaling and mindful moments, you can also express your gratitude directly to others. Write a thank you note, send a heartfelt text, or simply tell someone in person how much you appreciate them. This not only boosts your own positive feelings, but also strengthens your in relationships.
That's a great reminder. It's easy to keep gratitude internal, but sharing it can amplify its effect. So, to recap for our listeners, gratitude is the foundation for abundance. It shifts our brain chemistry, making us more positive and resilient. We can cultivate it through practices like keeping a gratitude journal with specific entries, taking mindful moments to savor pleasant experiences, looking for glimmers of thankfulness even in tough times, and expressing our appreciation to others.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. And the beauty of this practice is that it's available to everyone, anytime, anywhere. It requires no special equipment or financial investment, just a conscious choice to focus on what is good in our lives. By consciously choosing gratitude, we're actively building the abundance mindset we've been discussing. We are training our brains to see possibilities rather than limitations.
It's like planting seeds of positivity. The more you tend to them with gratitude, the more they grow and flourish, transforming your inner landscape.
A beautiful way to put it. This practice of gratitude is not about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging the good that exists alongside the challenges, and in doing so, expanding our capacity to experience more good. It's the essential first step in truly living a life of abundance.
So, if you're feeling stuck in scarcity, don't underestimate the simple power of a thank you. It might just be the most powerful tool in your abundance toolkit.
Next episode, we'll explore how to amplify this abundance even further through cooperation and the power of working together. Welcome back to the Abundance Mindset. Last time, we dug deep into the power of gratitude. Today, we're exploring cooperation, the force that multiplies abundance.
Cooperation. It sounds so warm and fuzzy, doesn't it? But I can already feel how critical this is. We spent a lot of time talking about the individual mindset, about what we can do. Now we're looking outwards.
Exactly, Lisa. And that outward gaze is crucial. Think about it. The scarcity mindset thrives on competition. It whispers there's only so much to go around, so you have to fight to get your piece. This pits us against each other, creating winners and losers, and often leaving everyone feeling drained and anxious.
That's the zero-sum game thinking, right? Where for me to win, you have to lose.
Precisely. But the abundance mindset recognizes that this is a false narrative. True abundance isn't a limited pie. It's a perpetually growing bakery. And cooperation is the secret ingredient that lets that bakery thrive and expand for everyone. Cooperation, at its heart, is about recognizing that working together can achieve far more than working alone. It's about synergy.
Synergy. That's a great word for it. When the combined effect is greater than the sum of its parts. Like two people lifting something heavy that neither could manage individually.
That's a perfect, tangible example. Imagine that heavy object as a complex problem, a big goal, or a significant opportunity. One person tries to lift it, strains, and perhaps moves it a little. But two people working in coordination, sharing the load, strategizing their movements, they can lift it with relative ease and place it exactly where it needs to go. That's cooperation in action.
So, it's not just about sharing resources, but sharing effort, knowledge, and even ambition.
Absolutely. When we cooperate, we pool our diverse skills and perspectives. One person might be brilliant at planning, another at execution, and a third at spotting potential pitfalls. Instead of each person stumbling through their own weaknesses, collaboration allows us to leverage each other's strengths. This unlocks innovation. It creates solutions that no single individual would have conceived on their own.
I can see how this directly combats the scarcity trap. If you're competing, you're guarding your knowledge, your ideas, your efforts. But if you're cooperating, you're sharing, you're building, and you're creating something new together. This is inherently an abundance-generating activity.
And that's the core shift. Cooperation moves us away from the me against the world mentality and toward a we are in this together understanding. This fosters trust and mutual support. When you know you have a network of people who are genuinely invested in collective success, it reduces personal risk. You're not facing challenges in isolation. You have allies.
That sense of security must be incredibly powerful. It frees up mental energy that would otherwise be spent on worry and defense.
It does. And it opens doors to opportunities that might have seemed out of reach before. Consider how many great inventions, scientific breakthroughs, or successful businesses are the result of teams, not lone geniuses. Those teams were built on cooperation. They shared the risks, celebrated the wins together, and learned from the setbacks as a unit.
It sounds so logical, yet we still see so much competition everywhere. In workplaces, in communities, even in families sometimes.
It's a deeply ingrained pattern, isn't it? Overcoming it takes conscious effort. When we're used to scarcity thinking, even the idea of collaborating can feel uncomfortable, like we're giving something away or making ourselves vulnerable. But the abundance mindset sees cooperation not as a concession, but as a strategic advantage. It's a way to create more for everyone, including ourselves.
So, what does this look like in practice? How do we actively foster cooperation?
It starts with intentionality. First, actively look for opportunities to collaborate. Instead of thinking, how can I do this better than everyone else? Ask, how can we do this better together? Second, cultivate a generous spirit. Be willing to share your knowledge, your time, and your resources without expecting an immediate personal return. True abundance is a long game.
That generosity is key. It's like planting seeds. You don't expect to harvest immediately, but you trust that your effort will eventually bear fruit, and not just for you.
Excellent analogy. Third, practice active listening and empathy. When you truly understand others' perspectives, you can find common ground and build bridges. This is fundamental to any successful collaborative effort. And fourth, celebrate collective victories. Acknowledge the contributions of everyone involved. This reinforces the positive experience of cooperation and encourages more of it.
So, it's about shifting our focus from individual gain to shared progress, and recognizing that by lifting others, we inherently lift ourselves.
Precisely. Imagine a community where neighbors help each other with errands, share tools, and support local initiatives. That community becomes stronger, safer, and more vibrant for everyone. That's a micro-level example of widespread abundance generated through cooperation. It's not about dividing a fixed amount of good things. It's about creating more good things for everyone by working in concert.
It really flips the script on competition. Instead of seeing others as rivals, you see them as potential partners, as fellow architects of a better future.
And that creates a positive feedback loop. The more we cooperate, the more abundance we generate, the more we have to share, and the more cooperation naturally follows. It's a virtuous cycle. The scarcity mindset breeds isolation and fear. The abundance mindset, amplified by cooperation, breeds connection and possibility.
I'm starting to see how these concepts build on each other. Gratitude helps us see what we have, and cooperation helps us understand how to grow what we have, not just for ourselves, but for everyone. It's a powerful shift from a limited view to a boundless one.
And that's the essence of an abundance mindset. It's not just about personal wealth or success. It's about creating a world where possibility, opportunity, and well-being are available to all. Cooperation is a vital engine for that transformation, turning individual potential into collective soaring.
It's about recognizing that our individual efforts are amplified when we join forces. We can achieve so much more and build something far grander when we move from me to we. So, to recap, cooperation is the key to multiplying abundance by leveraging shared strengths, fostering trust, creating innovation, and building supportive networks. It's the antidote to scarcity-driven competition and the foundation for collective growth.
Exactly. Next time, we'll explore how to recognize the abundant opportunities that are all around us, often hidden in plain sight. Next episode, Recognizing Opportunity, the Eyes of Abundance. Welcome back to the Abundance Mindset. Last time, we explored how cooperation amplifies our collective capacity. Today, we're developing our eyes of abundance.
It's so true, Alex. When we're in scarcity mode, we see problems, not possibilities. How do we shift to seeing with these eyes of abundance?
It starts with questioning our initial reactions. Instead of "this is impossible," try asking, "what's another way to look at this?" or "what potential is hidden here?" Imagine a forest. Focus on obstacles, and you miss the sunlight and hidden paths.
So we pause and reframe. A challenge becomes a puzzle or a learning chance, not just a barrier.
Exactly. Think of a failed project. Scarcity sees failure. Abundance asks, "what did I learn? How can I use this? Was there anything positive?" It turns an end into a new beginning.
Turning obstacles into stepping stones. Beyond reframing, what else helps us spot opportunities?
Actively seek new information and experiences. Step outside your comfort zone. Learn new skills, read widely, and talk to diverse people. This expands your searchlight to discover more.
The more we know and experience, the more connections we can make, unlocking possibilities.
Precisely. And practice mindfulness. When we're rushing, we miss subtle cues. Opportunity whispers. Being present means truly listening, observing, and noticing without judgment.
So, being observant and receptive to the now can reveal hidden opportunities.
Receptive and curious. Curiosity drives discovery. Ask why and what if. Don't accept things at face value. Question assumptions.
And sometimes an opportunity isn't obvious. It's a small opening that requires a leap of faith.
A crucial point. Many opportunities are nascent. They require willingness to take calculated risks. Assess potential rewards against risks, then act with courage, even with uncertainty. The abundance mindset trusts that if one venture doesn't work, others will follow.
That willingness to act, even with uncertainty, is fueled by the belief that if one door closes, another opens, or we can build a new one.
Correct. Also, be aware of opportunity blockers. Internally, these are fear of failure, self-doubt, or comfort. Externally, they could be negative influences or perceived resource limitations. Recognizing them is the first step.
So, if fear of failure holds us back, we acknowledge it, reframe it as part of risk, and then consciously move forward.
Exactly. And external blockers often loop back to cooperation. If resources are limited, can we collaborate? Can we network? Abundance thinking is about resourcefulness, seeing limitations as prompts for creative solutions.
It ties everything together: gratitude, cooperation, and now recognizing opportunity. It's a powerful toolkit for seeing the world with abundance.
It truly is. To recap, recognizing opportunity, reframe challenges, expand your horizons, practice mindfulness, cultivate curiosity, take calculated risks, and dismantle blockers. Developing these eyes of abundance, transforms our world from scarcity to potential.
That's a fantastic summary, Alex. We're building a powerful toolkit for living a life of abundance.
We are, and the journey continues. Next episode, abundance in relationships, cultivating connection. Welcome back. Last time we explored recognizing opportunities. Now let's tackle abundance in relationships.
Abundance in relationships. That's a fantastic topic, Alex. I think so many of us tend to approach our connections with a sense of scarcity, don't we? We worry about not having enough attention, enough love, or that someone else will take what we have.
Exactly, Lisa. That scarcity mindset in relationships often leads to insecurity, jealousy, and possessiveness. But true abundance in relationships is about the opposite. It's about recognizing that our connections are a source of more, not less.
So, instead of thinking, if I give too much, I won't have enough of their affection left for me, the abundant mindset would be,
It would be the more I give of my genuine care, support, and appreciation, the stronger and richer this relationship becomes, and in turn, the richer I feel. It's about understanding that healthy relationships aren't a finite pie where if someone else gets a slice, there's less for you. They're more like a garden. The more you nurture it, the more it flourishes, and the more fruits it bears for everyone involved.
that's a beautiful analogy, Alex. A garden. You tend to it, you give it water and sunlight, and it grows stronger and produces more. So, how do we cultivate that abundant mindset in our own relationships? What are the first steps?
The first and perhaps most crucial step is cultivating a sense of inner abundance, which we touched on in earlier episodes. When you feel a sense of abundance within yourself, when you feel whole, content, and self-sufficient, you're much less likely to project insecurity onto your relationships. You're not looking for someone else to complete you. You're looking for someone to share your already full life with.
That makes so much sense. If you're already happy and fulfilled on your own, you enter a relationship from a place of wanting to share that joy, rather than desperately needing someone to fill a void.
Precisely. And a key practice for cultivating abundance in relationships is genuine appreciation. Think about it. When was the last time you truly, deeply appreciated someone in your life? Not just a quick thanks, but a heartfelt acknowledgement of their presence, their actions, their unique qualities.
That's a great question. I know I can get caught up in the day-to-day and forget to pause and really acknowledge the people who matter. It's easy for things to become expected.
And that expectation is a direct path to scarcity thinking. When we expect good things from people without consciously appreciating them, we start to take them for granted. The abundant mindset actively combats this. It encourages us to look for the good in others and to express that appreciation generously. When you regularly tell someone why you appreciate them, it not only makes them feel valued, but it also reinforces that sense of abundance for you because you're actively focusing on the positive.
So, it's about savoring the good moments and the good qualities, not just letting them pass by. And this connects to the idea of giving, doesn't it? Abundance is about giving, not just receiving.
Absolutely. In a scarcity mindset, giving can feel like a loss. You worry about giving too much time, too much energy, too much of yourself. But in an abundant mindset, giving is an act of creation. When you offer your time to a friend who needs to talk, or you help a partner with a task, you're not depleting your resources, you're investing in a relationship. You're adding value. And often, this generous giving naturally attracts more positive energy and reciprocity back to you.
It's like planting seeds, isn't it? You give a little bit of care and you expect a beautiful bloom in return, not out of obligation, but out of the natural flow of growth.
Exactly. And this leads to another crucial element: open communication. In scarcity-driven relationships, communication can be guarded, filled with unspoken needs or passive-aggressive hints. The abundant approach is to communicate openly and honestly, from a place of trust and a desire for mutual understanding. When you can express your needs clearly and also listen openly to the needs of others, you create a space for genuine connection and problem solving.
That's so important because often misunderstandings stem from not feeling heard or not expressing ourselves clearly. And that can breed resentment, which is definitely a scarcity emotion.
It certainly is. Furthermore, an abundant mindset in relationships means embracing vulnerability. Vulnerability might feel like a risk, like exposing a weakness. But in the context of abundance, it's a sign of strength. It's saying, I trust you enough to show you my true self, my imperfections, my fears. This level of authenticity deepens connection and builds profound intimacy. When you allow yourself to be vulnerable, you give others permission to do the same.
And that mutual vulnerability creates a strong bond, doesn't it? It fosters a sense of we're in this together, rather than a constant underlying fear of being judged or rejected.
Precisely. So let's recap. We've talked about how scarcity in relationships breeds insecurity, jealousy, and possessiveness. The abundance mindset, conversely, focuses on our connections as a source of growth and more. It starts with cultivating inner abundance, so we're not seeking partners to complete us. Then we practice genuine appreciation, actively looking for and expressing gratitude for the people in our lives.
And we learned that abundant giving is about investing in relationships, not depleting ourselves. Open and honest communication is key, fostering trust and understanding. And finally, embracing vulnerability allows for deeper, more authentic connections.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. When we approach our relationships with an abundant mindset, we're not just improving those individual connections. We're contributing to a more positive and supportive environment around us. Think about the ripple effect. When you're a generous, appreciative, and authentic friend, partner, or family member, you inspire those qualities in others. You create abundance not just for yourself, but for your entire community.
It truly does feel like a virtuous cycle. The more abundance we cultivate in our relationships, the more abundant our lives become overall. It's a powerful reminder that these connections are not just nice to haves, but fundamental components of a truly abundant life.
They are. And as we move forward in this series, remember that cultivating abundance in your relationships is an ongoing practice. It requires conscious effort, but the rewards are immeasurable. So, this week, I encourage everyone to pick one relationship and focus on expressing genuine appreciation. See what happens.
Excellent advice. Abundance in relationships is all about generous giving, mutual support, and open appreciation. It's a powerful testament to the idea that our connections can and should be a source of more, not less.
Next episode, we'll shift our focus to another precious, often scarce feeling resource, time. We'll be exploring the abundance of time and how to reclaim your hours. Welcome back. We're discussing the abundance of time and how to reclaim your hours.
It's a common feeling, Alex, to constantly hear, I don't have enough time. Time feels like it's always slipping away.
That feeling is a scarcity symptom. Seeing time as limited leads to rushing and stress. But what if we viewed time with abundance?
That's a big shift. How do we approach time abundance with overflowing to-do lists?
First, acknowledge that time is abundant. We all get 24 hours. The difference is in how we perceive and manage them. Ask, how can I use this time most effectively? This is about conscious choice and prioritization.
So, it's not about getting more hours, but using them better. Can we explore some practical strategies?
Absolutely. From an abundance view, your time has value, and you decide where it goes. This leads to prioritization. For any task, ask, does this move me toward my goals or bring satisfaction?
Many of us prioritize by urgency, not importance.
The scarcity mindset reacts to urgency. An abundance mindset is proactive. Identify your most important tasks, your non-negotiables, and dedicate focused time to them first. Think of filling your pitcher with water before adding ice cubes.
That's a great analogy. Identifying priorities is step one. What's next?
Next is recognizing you don't have to do everything yourself. This is delegation. Scarcity might make us hoard tasks, thinking no one else can do them as well. Abundance recognizes sharing frees our time for higher value activities and allows others to grow.
Delegation can feel like more work initially.
It's an investment. It's about empowering others and building capacity. It requires clear communication and letting go of perfection. The goal is progress, not just your personal completion. When we delegate, we expand our reach.
That framing helps. So, prioritization and delegation. What else reclaims our hours?
Mindful presence. Much time is lost to distraction or ineffective multitasking. Abundance encourages being fully present. When you're working, work. When with loved ones, be with them. Focused attention makes tasks quicker and yields better results.
Thinking about what we should be doing while in the middle of something definitely fragments our focus.
Exactly. It's like reading a book while checking your phone. You don't absorb the story efficiently. Practicing mindfulness trains focus, makes time more productive, and can make time feel more abundant because we're experiencing it more deeply. We're inhabiting it.
So, it's about intentionality, prioritizing matters, delegating effectively, and being present.
Yes, and learning to say no is huge. Scarcity sees saying no as missing opportunities. Abundance understands saying yes to everything means saying no to your priorities. Saying no to non-essentials is saying yes to your goals, well-being, and what lights you up.
That's a powerful reframing. It's selection, not rejection.
Precisely. It's honoring your time and energy. Your time is a valuable, limited resource. You need to be discerning about where you invest it. Saying no to things that don't align creates space for what does.
To recap, the abundance of time means perceiving and managing our hours effectively. We reclaim them by diligently prioritizing what truly matters, embracing delegation to expand capacity, practicing mindful presence for focus, and learning to say no to non-essentials, which is saying yes to our priorities.
You've summarized it perfectly. Approaching time with abundance shifts us from overwhelmed to in control, purposeful, and even enjoying our days. Time becomes a canvas for a fulfilling life, not a ticking clock. It's about intentionality and choice.
It's a shift from reacting to time to directing it. Thank you, Alex. This is incredibly valuable.
Absolutely. Remember, this is a practice. Be patient with yourself, keep practicing, and you'll feel a difference.
Fantastic. Next time, we'll be exploring mastering self-talk and the inner dialogue of abundance.
That's right. Our thoughts deeply influence our perception of scarcity or abundance. Join us then. Welcome back to the Abundance Mindset. Last time, we explored the abundance of time. Now, let's tackle mastering self-talk, the inner dialogue of abundance.
That's right, Alex. Our internal monologue is like a constant companion. Whether that companion cheers us on or tears us down makes all the difference. If we're constantly telling ourselves we don't have enough, can we ever truly feel abundant?
Exactly. This inner dialogue interprets every event. If that voice is steeped in scarcity, focusing on what's missing, it creates a reality of scarcity. It's like wearing glasses that filter out the good and highlight only problems.
So, the first step is awareness, hearing what we're saying to ourselves.
Absolutely. Become an observer of your own thoughts. For the next week, simply notice your self-talk without judgment. When you make a mistake, what's your immediate internal reaction? Is it about your limitations or your potential to learn?
If I spill my coffee, my inner voice might say, I'm so clumsy. That's scarcity. An abundance voice might say, oops, that happens. Let's get this cleaned up. It's very different.
Precisely. The scarcity voice focuses on identity. I am clumsy. The abundance voice focuses on the event and a practical solution. So once we've identified these patterns, how do we master this inner dialogue?
We have to actively teach ourselves a new script. It's like retraining a muscle.
It is. The most powerful tool is conscious affirmation and challenging negative thoughts. Let's call these abundance anchors for our inner voice. Think of an abundance anchor as a short, powerful statement that anchors you in possibility.
Okay, so if my scarcity voice is saying, I don't have enough money, what would an abundance anchor be?
A good abundance anchor could be, I am a magnet for financial well-being, and opportunities flow to me easily. Or, more simply, I have all that I need. The key is that it's positive, present tense, and focuses on what you want.
I am a magnet for financial well-being, and opportunities flow to me easily. It feels more active.
Exactly. It's about shifting your internal focus towards the abundance you desire. This helps your brain start looking for evidence that supports this new narrative. Remember how our mindset shapes our reality? This internal work pays off.
So, identify scarcity talk and replace it with abundance anchors. But what if the negative thought is really strong? Like a nagging inner critic.
That's where challenging the thought becomes a crucial skill. When that inner critic says, you're not smart enough, you question it. Is this thought 100% true? What evidence do I have that it's not true? Have I ever learned something complex before?
Ah, so you're treating the thought like a hypothesis to be tested, not a fact.
Precisely. You're bringing in objective evidence. Imagine your inner critic is a prosecutor. You, as the defense attorney, gather counter evidence. You might say, the thought is I'm not smart enough. But I remember when I learned X. That required intelligence. So, that thought isn't entirely accurate.
That's a powerful analogy. It's about gathering your evidence of capability. Does that inner critic eventually quiet down?
It can. Our brains adapt. The more you practice challenging scarcity thoughts and reinforcing abundance thoughts, the stronger those abundance pathways in your brain become. It's like carving a new path through a forest. The more you walk it, the clearer it becomes.
So, to recap, first, become aware of your inner dialogue. Notice your stories about lack. Second, replace scarcity narratives with abundance anchors, positive affirmations. And third, challenge negative self-talk by questioning its validity and gathering evidence of your capabilities.
That's a perfect summary, Lisa. This is a practice. There will be days when the inner critic is louder. On those days, be kind to yourself. Acknowledge the thought, gently redirect your focus, and reaffirm your commitment to an abundance mindset. It's about progress, not perfection.
And this connects back to gratitude and cooperation. When you're grateful, your inner voice focuses on what you have. When you're cooperating, you're focusing on shared success rather than solely on your own perceived limitations.
Absolutely. The inner dialogue is the thread that runs through all of it. If your inner voice says, there's not enough, it undermines gratitude and cooperation. But if your inner voice says, there's so much to be thankful for, and we can achieve more together, then those practices flourish.
It really is about cultivating a supportive inner environment. Instead of being your own worst enemy, you become your greatest advocate.
Exactly. Picture your mind as a garden. Scarcity thoughts are weeds. Abundant self-talk is watering, nourishing plants. What seeds of thought are you planting today? Seeds of doubt and lack, or seeds of possibility and growth?
That's a lovely image. Seeds of possibility and growth. It's not just about positive thinking, It's about cultivating a constructive, empowering internal reality.
It's the foundation for living a life of true abundance. By mastering your inner dialogue, you're changing your experience of the world. You're building the inner scaffolding for every external success and feeling of contentment.
So, your internal conversation is a powerful driver of your mindset. By becoming aware of your self talk, challenging negative thoughts, and cultivating positive affirmations, you can transform your inner world and your outer world.
That's a fantastic wrap up. Mastering your self talk is about becoming the most supportive voice in your own life. It's a continuous journey, but a profoundly rewarding one. Next episode: Overcoming Lack, Strategies for Transition. Welcome back to the Abundance Mindset. Today we tackle Chapter 9, Overcoming Lack, Strategies for Transition.
That's so important, Alex.
When you're facing real world lack, it can feel overwhelming and easy to get stuck in that scarcity mindset.
Exactly. We're providing actionable strategies to navigate those feelings and actively transition to an abundance perspective. Our first big concept today is acknowledging and accepting where you are without judgment.
Accepting where you are, that sounds counterintuitive when the goal is to move away from lack.
It can be, but think of it like this. You need to acknowledge your current situation without letting it define you. It's about saying, okay, this is where I am right now. What can I do from this point?
So, it's about honest assessment, not dwelling on the negative.
Precisely. And this honest assessment is the foundation for building resilience. Resilience is your ability to bounce back from difficulties. When you face lack, your first instinct might be fear. But an abundance mindset helps you reframe that. Instead of thinking, this is a disaster, you can start thinking, this is a challenge. How can I become stronger and more resourceful through this?
That reframing is key. How do we actively build that resilience when the struggle feels so immediate?
One powerful way is through proactive resourcefulness. This means actively looking for solutions and opportunities, even in seemingly limited circumstances. It's about shifting from waiting for things to improve to actively making them improve. Resourcefulness means leveraging what you do have, no matter how small it seems.
Can you give us an example of proactive resourcefulness in action?
Absolutely. Imagine someone facing a sudden job loss. Their immediate thought might be panic about bills. Instead of just waiting for the next job offer, a resourceful person might think, okay, I have some skills. What can I offer on a freelance basis right now? Can I teach a skill? Can I offer a service? They're not waiting for abundance to arrive. They're actively creating it with the resources at hand.
I see. So, it's about seeing the potential in what's already there, or what you can learn or create, rather than focusing on what's missing.
Exactly. And this leads to another crucial strategy: embracing the discomfort of transition. Moving from scarcity to abundance isn't always a smooth, immediate flip. There will be moments of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. These are the growing pains of your abundance mindset. Acknowledging that discomfort is normal and pushing through it is how you solidify your progress.
That's a good point. We often expect the transition to be easy once we decide we want it. But real change involves facing those uncomfortable feelings.
It really does. And to help manage that discomfort, we need to cultivate a strong inner anchor of possibility. Remember how we talked about self talk? This is where it becomes even more critical. When you feel that pull of scarcity creeping back in, you need to actively counter it with affirmations of abundance and possibility.
Like reminding yourself of the progress you've already made?
Yes, that's a great way to do it. And also by focusing on the potential for positive outcomes. It's about maintaining a belief in a brighter future, even when the present is challenging. Think of it like planting seeds. You might not see the full harvest immediately, but you trust that with care and time, the seeds you've planted will grow.
So, we're acknowledging our current situation, building resilience, being resourceful, embracing the discomfort, and planting those seeds of possibility with our inner dialogue. That's a comprehensive approach.
It is. And another practical strategy is to actively seek out abundance-minded communities or mentors. Surrounding yourself with people who embody abundance, who are resourceful and optimistic, can be incredibly inspiring and provide invaluable support. They can offer new perspectives, share their own strategies for overcoming lack, and remind you that abundance is achievable.
That's powerful social reinforcement. If you're surrounded by scarcity mindedness, it's easy to get caught in that trap. But being around positive, proactive people can really shift your energy.
Absolutely. And this leads us to a very tangible aspect: financial planning with an abundance outlook. Now, I know this could be a trigger for many. When people are in lack, finances are often the biggest source of anxiety. But an abundance mindset applied to finances doesn't mean ignoring reality. It means approaching it with a proactive, solution-oriented perspective.
How does that look different from a scarcity focused financial plan?
In a scarcity mindset, financial planning often focuses on fear: fear of not having enough, fear of making mistakes, fear of future lack. It creates a cycle of anxiety. An abundance mindset, however, focuses on growth, opportunity, and creative solutions. Even with limited income, you can focus on how to increase it, how to invest wisely in yourself or small ventures, and how to be grateful for what you do have. It's about seeing money as a tool for creating possibilities, not just a source of stress.
So instead of just budgeting to survive, you're budgeting to thrive and looking for ways to expand your financial capacity.
Exactly. And importantly, we need to practice gratitude for abundance in all its forms, not just financial. When you're experiencing lack in one area, it's easy to overlook the abundance in other areas of your life. Are you healthy? Do you have supportive relationships? Do you have a roof over your head? Actively recognizing these existing abundances helps to counterbalance the feeling of scarcity and reminds you that you are not entirely lacking.
That's a wonderful way to end this segment. It really pulls together the idea that abundance is multifaceted. We've talked about acknowledging where we are, building resilience, being resourceful, embracing transition discomfort, strengthening our inner belief in possibility, seeking supportive communities, applying an abundance outlook to finances, and practicing gratitude for all forms of abundance.
You summed it up beautifully, Lisa. Overcoming lack is about a conscious, active transition. It's not about pretending problems don't exist, but about facing them with a mindset that believes in solutions, growth, and the inherent possibility of a more abundant future. Remember, the journey from scarcity to abundance is a process, and by implementing these strategies, you are actively paving that path.
Fantastic. So, to recap for our listeners, we acknowledge the need to honestly assess where we are without judgment. We discussed building resilience by reframing challenges and becoming proactively resourceful, using what we have to create opportunities. We also emphasized embracing the discomfort that comes with change and strengthening our inner belief in endless possibility. And finally, we talked about the power of seeking out abundance-minded communities, applying an abundance outlook to our finances, and practicing gratitude for all forms of abundance in our lives.
Excellent summary. The strategies we've covered today are your toolkit for navigating those tough transitions. They empower you to move beyond the limitations of scarcity and step into a reality of greater possibility.
And that's a powerful place to be.
Indeed. Next episode, we'll be building on this foundation as we discuss Chapter 10, Building a Permanent Optimistic Worldview. You won't want to miss it. Welcome back. Last time, we explored strategies for transitioning from scarcity to abundance. Today, we're building a permanent optimistic worldview.
That's so important, Alex. How do we make that abundant feeling our default setting?
It's about habits and consistent practice like training a muscle. We need to actively nurture our optimism.
What are those key habits for building lasting optimism?
Let's start with gratitude. Daily gratitude practice reinforces what you do have. It's your bedrock.
So, actively seeking things to be grateful for every day.
Exactly. Listing 3 to 5 things daily, no matter how small, redirects focus from lack to blessings. This rewires your brain for positivity.
It trains your mind to scan for the good.
Precisely. The next habit is reframing challenges. Instead of seeing them as insurmountable, view them as opportunities for growth and learning.
That can be hard when you're in the middle of a problem. How do we reframe practically?
It's a conscious shift. Instead of "this is terrible," ask, "what can I learn? What new skill can I develop? What solution might this reveal?" Look for the lesson within the storm.
So, acknowledging the difficulty, but actively seeking the positive takeaway or path forward.
Yes, it's about empowering yourself. This ties into mastering self-talk. It's about actively cultivating and empowering inner dialogue.
I remember that episode. Becoming aware of our inner critic and replacing those thoughts.
Yes, and it's ongoing. When you catch a negative thought, acknowledge it, then replace it with a positive, abundance-affirming statement. I'm learning and growing, instead of "I'm not good enough."
Like being your own consistent, effective cheerleader.
You've got it. Then there's positive association. Surround yourself with uplifting things, people, and environments. Curate your social feeds. Choose supportive friends. Seek inspiring books or music.
The people we spend time with really influence our outlook.
Absolutely. If you're building optimism, limit exposure to negativity and amplify positivity. This includes seeking out inspiring stories.
Hearing about others overcoming adversity is incredibly motivating.
It shows what's possible and reinforces that optimism can lead to incredible outcomes. Look for stories of resilience and achievement.
So, consistent gratitude, reframing challenges, positive self-talk, positive environments, and inspiring stories. These are actionable steps.
They are. Building a permanent optimistic worldview isn't about never feeling sad. It's about having the resilience to navigate challenges without letting them define you. It's about returning to hope and possibility.
So, even when things get tough, this ingrained perspective helps us find our way back to optimism. It's like an internal compass pointing towards hope.
A perfect analogy. As we nurture these habits, adversity becomes less about disaster and more about data. Setbacks become springboards. Life becomes richer and more abundant. We create our own positive reality.
It sounds like a truly sustainable way to live, a fundamental shift in how we interact with the world.
It is. And as we cultivate this optimistic worldview, we influence those around us. Our positivity can be contagious, inspiring others and shifting the world towards a more abundant future.
That's a powerful thought. To summarize, building a permanent optimistic worldview means making the abundance mindset enduring. We do this through consistent gratitude, reframing challenges, positive self-talk, curating positive environments, and seeking inspiring stories. These habits create a robust, resilient, and ingrained optimistic perspective.
Exactly. This lays the groundwork for our final 2 episodes, where we'll explore putting this mindset into action and look towards the horizon of perpetual abundance.
Fantastic. So, what's next?
Next episode, Abundance in Action, Case Studies and Inspiration. Welcome back. Last time, we explored building a permanent optimistic worldview. Now, let's bring it to life with inspiring stories.
I'm so excited for this one, Alex. We've talked a lot about the theory of abundance, gratitude, cooperation, and positive self-talk. Now we get to see the tangible results. It's one thing to understand a concept, but it's another to see it in action, changing lives and communities.
Exactly. We've gathered fascinating examples. Individuals and groups who've actively shifted from a scarcity mindset to one of abundance, and the outcomes have been extraordinary. Let's start with a common theme: overcoming perceived limitations through a shift in perspective.
So, we're looking at real-world proof that this isn't just a nice idea, but a powerful tool for change.
Precisely. Consider the story of a small rural community struggling with dwindling resources and a general sense of hopelessness. They had limited access to fresh produce and faced economic hardship. Their initial mindset was scarcity, focusing on what they didn't have.
That's a classic scarcity trap. What changed?
A few individuals within the community started fostering an abundance mindset. Instead of lamenting the lack of land for large-scale farming, they began to see the potential in underutilized spaces, backyards, rooftops, even small public plots. They shifted their focus from "we don't have enough land" to "how can we best use the land we do have." This is about recognizing opportunity. Remember from episode 5?
Ah, yes.
Seeing possibilities where others see problems. So they started small with community gardens?
Exactly. They pooled resources, shared knowledge, and encouraged participation. This wasn't about individual gain, it was about collective abundance. They learned together, experimented, and celebrated every small harvest. This cooperative spirit, which we discussed in episode 4, was crucial. They weren't just growing vegetables, they were growing connection and shared purpose.
And what was the impact?
Over time, these small gardens not only provided fresh, healthy food for the community, significantly improving their diet and well-being, but they also became hubs of social interaction. People connected, shared stories, and offered support. This then led to an idea for a local farmers market.
Which in turn would have provided economic opportunity.
Precisely. They weren't just surviving, they were thriving. They transformed their environment and their outlook by shifting from a scarcity mindset, dwelling on what they lacked, to an abundance mindset, actively seeking and creating opportunities with the resources they possessed. They realized they had a wealth of collective skills, shared enthusiasm, and the capacity for collaboration.
That's a powerful example of how focused action, fueled by an abundance mindset, can create a ripple effect. It wasn't just about food, it was about empowerment.
Absolutely. Now, let's look at an individual example. Think about someone who feels stuck in their career, believing their opportunities are limited. They might focus on the few available job openings that don't quite fit their aspirations, or feel they lack the right connections.
That sounds like a very common scenario. The feeling of being trapped.
Indeed, we've all felt that to some degree. But an abundance mindset encourages us to look beyond the immediate perceived limitations. Take Sarah, for instance. She felt her creative skills weren't valued in her current corporate job, and she desperately wanted to pursue her passion for graphic design.
So, she was focused on what her current job wasn't giving her.
Right? She believed the only path was to find a new corporate job that fit her dream. But instead, she started nurturing the abundance within herself. She began using her evenings and weekends to hone her design skills, taking online courses and practicing on personal projects. She treated this not as a hobby, but as a serious investment in her future abundance. She embraced the idea that her skills could be abundant if she cultivated them.
So, she wasn't waiting for an opportunity to present itself. She was creating it by developing her own abundant skills.
Exactly. She also started connecting with other designers online, not out of desperation to find a job, but out of a genuine desire to learn and share. This is that relationship abundance we talked about, building strong, supportive networks. She began offering pro bono design work for local nonprofits, building a portfolio and gaining valuable experience. Remember episode 6? Cultivating connection pays dividends.
And as her portfolio grew and her confidence blossomed, what happened?
She began to attract opportunities. A small business owner saw her work and commissioned her for a branding project. That led to another client, then another. Eventually, she was able to transition entirely into freelance graphic design, earning more and, more importantly, feeling deeply fulfilled by her work. Her self-talk, which had once been filled with doubt, transformed into a powerful affirmation of her capabilities. Mastering self-talk, as we learned in episode 8.
She essentially expanded her definition of what was possible for herself. She stopped seeing a limited job market and started seeing a world of creative possibilities she could contribute to.
That's a perfect summary. It's about shifting your internal narrative and then taking consistent, inspired action. Another powerful area is the abundance of time. We often feel like there aren't enough hours in the day.
Oh, that's a big one for me, and I'm sure for many listeners. The feeling of being overwhelmed and constantly rushed.
Right? Think about someone who constantly feels behind, always catching up. They might feel like their time is dictated by external demands. An abundance mindset encourages us to reclaim our time. Consider a busy parent who felt overwhelmed by household chores, work, and childcare. They lamented, "I never have any time for myself."
A very familiar refrain.
By adopting an abundance mindset towards time, they started to see it differently. Instead of just having no time, they began to ask, how can I create pockets of time that serve me? This isn't about magic. It's about mindful intention and effective strategies. They started to identify small, consistent actions that, when accumulated, released precious minutes. For instance, dedicating 15 minutes each evening to tidying up a specific area.
So, small, consistent efforts that add up, like decluttering or prepping lunches the night before.
Exactly. They also started to reevaluate their commitments. Were there things they were doing out of obligation that didn't truly serve them or their family? This is about recognizing where their time was truly abundant and where it was being depleted by low-value activities. They learned to say no more effectively to protect their most valuable, non-renewable resource, their time. This connects back to mastering self-talk by reinforcing the idea that their time is valuable and worthy of protection.
And by consciously managing their time with an abundance lens, they found they weren't just surviving, but actually carving out moments for relaxation, hobbies, or simply being present with their children.
Precisely. They transformed their experience of time from a source of stress to a resource that could be intentionally utilized for well-being and fulfillment. These are just a few examples, of course. We see this pattern repeated across various fields. Entrepreneurs who see opportunity where others see risk, artists who create in spite of material scarcity, and individuals who cultivate deep, meaningful connections even amidst busy lives.
It all circles back to that fundamental shift in perspective, moving from focusing on what's missing to recognizing and amplifying what's present and possible. It's proof that the abundance mindset isn't just an abstract concept. It's a practical, powerful framework for living a more fulfilling and successful life.
And that, dear listeners, is the essence of abundance in action. We've seen how embracing gratitude, fostering cooperation, recognizing opportunities, cultivating relationships, mastering our inner dialogue, and reclaiming our time can lead to tangible, positive outcomes. It's about choosing to see the world through a lens of possibility rather than limitation.
We've covered a lot of ground over these episodes, from understanding scarcity to building a permanent optimistic worldview, and now seeing it all put into practice. It's inspiring to see how these principles can truly transform lives.
It truly is. We've laid the groundwork, explored the tools, and now we've seen the results. Next episode, The Infinite Horizon, living a life of perpetual abundance. Welcome back, everyone, to our 12th and final episode.
It really has, Alex. From understanding the scarcity trap to exploring gratitude and cooperation, we've covered so much ground. I feel like we've equipped listeners with a whole new way of seeing the world.
Absolutely. And today, we're looking at the infinite horizon, living a life of perpetual abundance. It's about taking everything we've learned and realizing that this isn't a destination, but a continuous way of being. We're not just talking about a temporary shift, we're talking about a permanent, ever-expanding state of abundance.
That's such an important distinction. So, to kick us off, Alex, can you bring us back to where we started? Remind us what the scarcity trap truly is.
Certainly, the scarcity trap is that pervasive feeling that there's never enough. Not enough time, not enough money, not enough love, not enough opportunities. It's a mindset rooted in fear and limitation. When we're stuck in scarcity, we tend to hoard resources, compete unnecessarily, and focus on what we lack. It's like living in a world where the pie is always shrinking, and we're constantly worried someone will take our slice.
And that's precisely what we've been working to shift away from, episode by episode. We've moved from that limited view to one of possibility.
Exactly. We introduced the dawn of abundance, which is about recognizing that possibilities are vast and often unseen when we're caught in scarcity. It's about expanding our perception to see the abundance that's already present and the abundance we can create. Remember, the world doesn't necessarily have finite resources for everyone. It's our perception that often creates the feeling of limitation.
And a cornerstone of that shift, a concept we really hammered home early on, was gratitude.
Gratitude, the keystone of abundance. It's the practice of actively appreciating what we have, no matter how small. Gratitude retrains our brains to focus on the positive, counteracting the negativity bias that scarcity thinking often fuels. By being grateful, we open ourselves up to noticing more good things, which then leads to more gratitude. It's a beautiful, virtuous cycle. It's like turning on a light in a dark room. You start seeing all the things you missed before.
And then we saw how to multiply that abundance through cooperation.
Cooperation is the multiplier. Scarcity breeds competition, but abundance thrives on collaboration. When we work together, we combine our strengths, share resources, and innovate far more effectively than we could alone. Think of a single thread versus a woven tapestry. One is easily broken, the other is strong and beautiful. Cooperation creates synergy, where the combined output is far greater than the sum of individual efforts.
This led into recognizing opportunity, which felt like truly opening our eyes to that abundance.
Recognizing opportunity is about developing the eyes of abundance. It means being alert and open to possibilities that arise. Scarcity makes us defensive and closed off. Abundance makes us curious and ready to seize chances. When you're looking for abundance, you start seeing it everywhere, in challenges, in everyday interactions, in unmet needs that you can help fulfill.
We then explored the personal realms of abundance, relationships, and time.
Yes, abundance in relationships is about cultivating connection, empathy, and genuine support. It's moving away from transactional or possessive dynamics and embracing giving and receiving freely. And the abundance of time is about reclaiming our hours. It's not about having more time, but about using the time we have more intentionally and effectively, prioritizing what truly matters. We can achieve this by reducing time-wasting activities and focusing on high-impact tasks.
Mastering self-talk was a crucial internal piece of the puzzle.
Absolutely. Our inner dialogue is incredibly powerful. Mastering self-talk means consciously choosing positive, empowering thoughts over self-defeating ones. The inner dialogue of abundance replaces "I can't" with "how can I?" or "I'm not good enough" with "I am learning and growing." This internal shift is fundamental to experiencing external abundance. We talked about how our thoughts create our reality.
And with that foundational understanding, we moved into practical strategies for transition and building a more optimistic outlook.
Overcoming lack involved practical strategies, like reframing challenges as opportunities and building resilience. It's about not letting setbacks define you, but using them as stepping stones. Then, building a permanent optimistic worldview was about cementing these practices so that positivity and a belief in abundance become your default. This isn't about ignoring problems, but about facing them with a hopeful and capable mindset.
And in our last episode, we saw abundance in action through inspiring case studies.
That's right. Seeing real-world examples of people and organizations who have embraced abundance principles demonstrates that this isn't just theory. It's a tangible, achievable path to a richer life. These stories serve as powerful motivators, showing us what's possible when we step out of scarcity and into a mindset of plentiful opportunity and growth.
So, let's bring it all together for this final episode, the infinite horizon. What does it truly mean to live a life of perpetual abundance?
It means that the principles we've discussed, gratitude, cooperation, recognizing opportunity, positive self-talk, conscious use of time and relationships, and a resilient, optimistic outlook, are not just things you do, but who you are. Perpetual abundance is a continuous unfolding. It's understanding that every closed door can lead to a new, often better, opening. It's a constant state of learning, contributing, and appreciating.
It sounds almost infinite, like the possibilities truly have no end.
Precisely. It's about embracing the idea that abundance isn't about accumulating a fixed amount of wealth or possessions, but about experiencing a continuous flow of positive experiences, opportunities, meaningful connections, and personal growth. It's about realizing that the universe is not a place of lack, but a place of incredible, boundless potential. When you operate from this infinite horizon perspective, you're no longer driven by fear, but by inspiration and a deep well of inner resources.
So, for our listeners who have been with us through every episode, what's the ultimate call to action? How do they live this perpetual abundance?
The call to action is simple, yet profound. Continue practicing. Make gratitude a daily ritual. Seek out opportunities to cooperate. Challenge your scarcity-driven thoughts. Nurture your relationships. Use your time wisely. Continually cultivate that positive inner dialogue. The journey from scarcity to abundance is not a single event. It's a lifelong practice. Each day offers a new opportunity to reinforce these abundance-building habits. By consistently applying these principles, you solidify your optimistic worldview and create a life that feels perpetually rich, fulfilling, and full of possibility.
So, to recap our entire series, we started by identifying the restrictive scarcity trap and then transitioned to embracing the dawn of abundance by defining possibility. We then established gratitude as the keystone, amplified our output through cooperation, and learned to recognize opportunity with open eyes. We explored abundance in relationships and the empowering abundance of time. Crucially, we learned about mastering self-talk to overcome any lingering feelings of lack and building a permanent optimistic worldview. We saw abundance in action through inspiring case studies, and finally, we are here at the infinite horizon, ready to live a life of perpetual abundance.
It's about living with an open heart and an open mind, knowing that there is always enough, and that you are capable of creating and experiencing more good than you can possibly imagine. It's a state of being that allows you to face any challenge with confidence and to celebrate every success with genuine joy. Thank you for joining us on this transformative journey.
Thanks for listening to this series.